Hi, I'm Trish. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today I am going to show you how to make mashed cauliflower that even your kids are going to ask for. It is so delicious and it's a lot healthier than a mashed potato, and it also gives you a little bit of variety. I'll be honest, cauliflower is not my favorite vegetable, but the way I make it, anyone would eat this. First of all, we're going to take off the green part. Just cut that with a knife. Of course, we have our typical Pacific Northwest weather, and it is starting to wear me down a little bit. I am not loving it. So today, I've got a little cocktail. I made myself a coconut, pineapple, and rum. I'm not going to say what the proportions were because you should just make it to suit you. That's delicious. And I also have a scented candle. So I am trying to create a little bit of ambiance here, even though it's just me. It's important to be happy, and sometimes you got to make your own. Okay, I'm gonna scoop all this weird green stuff over here, and I just want the good, yummy parts of my cauliflower. By good, yummy parts, I mean the white stuff. Probably a name for that. I don't know what that is though. How much of the stem I leave is usually contingent on our ever-changing financial situation. If we're poor, I use a lot more of the stem, and if we're not as poor, I use less because I don't really like the way it tastes. And the same is true of broccoli. I think that broccoli and cauliflower are actually originally derived from the same kind of plant. So here we go. Got all those nice little white parts. I'm going to chop those up really good and throw them into my microwave steamer. I had this forever. I think I bought that about 20 years ago. I don't even know if they still sell them. This is a really good side dish to serve if you eat chicken or any kind of a cutlet, or I personally put it with a green vegetable because I don't want to have meat on my plate. You could also do baked beans. That would be delicious too. That might even be what I do today. Maybe I'll put some baked beans with this. Okay, next I am going to add a little bit of water to this and put it in the microwave for about 10 minutes. While we wait for the cauliflower to steam, I'm going to give you a tour of the rest of my kitchen, which I don't show very much. And I feel like we might have a little bit of a Brady Bunch bathroom situation, like where was the toilet? So I don't want you to feel that way about my kitchen. I do have a sink in here, but not a toilet. Well, it's going to take about 10 minutes for my cauliflower to steam. I'm going to give you a real quick tour. This is the part that you know, obviously, my refrigerator, my range. I use a countertop oven because I have a gas oven and it isn't terribly efficient. And if I don't use a pizza stone or some kind of ceramic tile in it, it tends to burn casseroles. And I like the accuracy of the electric oven better, but I do like a gas range, so I use both. Of course, I've got my kitchen fish. We've talked about these before. There's little Daphne. And Ivan is in there somewhere. Ivan's in kind of a bad mood today. He hasn't wanted to come out and talk to me much. He might be hiding behind his weeds. That's my pantry. I don't have a real door. And my chandeliers. We took out the center light and put the chandeliers in just because it makes it feel happier in here. I have these shelves that I added. We actually had these built, they're backlit. And every Sunday I reset this. I decide what I'm going to have for the week. and I refill my bins with the ingredients I'm going to need for those recipes. So I take the bins down, I clean them out, I refill them from the pantry downstairs. I water my plants while I'm at it. It's important to have a lot of greenery, especially when you live in a place like this where it rains all the gosh darn time. And I like to have a plant in the corner. There's a little bottle of hand sanitizer here because most of my deliveries come to the back door. And if I have to sign for something, I don't want to wash my hands 1,000 times a day. So hand sanitizer is really helpful. Of course, my hand soap, my sink. I've got a little plant start up here. Over here, I've got a little memorial to my cat, Mike. We lost Mike in June, and that was a pretty big loss for me. He was really important. We had a lot of adventures together, and he was there through a lot of the major milestones in my life. I like having his picture there and a living plant to remind me to be appreciative of who we have in front of us. I keep most of my spices in these glass jars, and they go several rows deep. I refill these on Sunday too. This is all my commonly used stuff. I keep cat food in this bin over on this side, and I keep dog food in this bin over on this side. That way I don't confuse them. Later today, I'm going to make bagels, and I'm going to fill that with bagels. Got plants way up high there, and most of my grains and pastas are over here. Music is really important to me, so I have a speaker here, and when I'm not making videos, I'm usually listening to music that I stream off of my phone. And then I've got my little heater because our house was built in 1901 and it is so cold. And it would cost a fortune to heat 4 stories as warm as I'd like it. So I just close the doors and I heat the room I'm in. I also have 3 doors that I keep closed. And this is to keep the pets out. There's a little pet door down there, but I've got a screen behind it so they can't use it. I love my guys, but I don't love their hair. And I clean this floor a lot. I mop 2 to 3 times a day just to make sure there's no cat hair. And I start every recipe with wiping all of my counters and surfaces with bleach and a paper towel. Just in case. I want to make sure that no one said anything dirty. They didn't put their dirty shoes on a counter, or a cat didn't sneak in here and get up on something. And for a little bit of ambiance, I've got my candle. I like to have a scented candle here and there. This one is Sea Salt Surf, and my husband TF bought that for me pretty recently. It's just nice to have something to balance out the gray. And I try to not be much of an alcohol drinker, but every now and then I like to make a cocktail to enjoy while I'm cooking dinner, or I have a glass of wine. Not every day, but here and there. It sometimes is a little fun to pretend I'm on vacation. My microwave is actually located under the cabinet because I don't like appliances on top of the countertops. It looks a little cluttered to me. So there it is down there, and it looks like it's done. Okay, we're ready to see what we've got here. So this steamed for 10 minutes, and there was just a little tiny bit of water left on it, so I drained that off. And now it should mash up easily with a fork. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna mash all that down. I suppose if you have fancy tools like a food processor, you could probably do it with that, or you could put it in a stand mixer and do it that way. That's more dishes than I want to wash, so I'm just going to do it with a fork. And of course, we're going to add some cheddar cheese, because what isn't more delicious with cheddar cheese? And onion powder. No measurements. Measure with your heart. I've got some vegetable seasoning that's powdered. And we're going to put a little bit of butter in there, of course. The day I don't add butter to a recipe, I was probably abducted by aliens, and it's an imposter showing you how to cook here. There's always going to be butter. Always. And Mexican style sour cream. I have no idea what makes it so gosh darn good, but the Mexican style, especially Dairy Gold, is so yummy. 2 scoops of that. I think if we're being honest, I probably still don't like cauliflower, but I love cheddar cheese, I love butter, and I love sour cream. So that makes it, well, worth my time. Oh, you know what else would work well with this is one of those immersion blenders. I don't have one. I never have. I don't have a lot of fancy tools, but I think that that would be really helpful. That would get the job done for sure. This does too. Here it is, all ready to go. I've added some grated cheddar and a little bit of dried parsley, but oh my gosh, is this my new favorite thing? I like this better than mashed potatoes as a side dish, which I didn't think was possible. You're gonna love it too. I just know that this is going to be your family's new favorite. It's so healthy and it's so easy and it's fast. It's a real comfort food on a day like this where it's raining. I hope you make this and I hope you love it. Bon appetit!